Hey, what's up, y'all? I'm back. I've not uploaded an actual video in about 9, 10 days ago. And of course, the video, it's my best video yet. It somehow I'll get in good views, and it does not stop, and that's a good thing. I hope that one day that video will reach 1,000 views. That's my goal for that video. But also, let's talk about basically, of course, and also I'm gonna check like how much, of course, some of my most of my audience isn't subscribed. Y'all can take a chance with me if you want. I'm doing a stream series right now where we're trying to complete the entire storyline of Faith on with no DLC. Anyway, let's get back to what we were here for. Well, what the audience is here for, what you guys are here for. So today you clicked on this video because you wanted to hear me talk about something in that really, of course, that topic that dates back to 2017. Fortnite OG nostalgia. Let's talk about what it is first. Of course, really, Fortnite OG, this goes back to the days, the first days of Fortnite in the preseason. Of course, really, the preseason and of Fortnite really wasn't that great, big, of course, and this is way back, so there was no zero build mode, there was no reload, there was no Lego Fortnite, there was no Fortnite Festival, there was no stupid rocket racing mode, there was no other mode, but Battle Royale. It was just one map. It was just a simple loophole. There were really no big season limited items. And so basically, of course, really just people. Oh, of course, this was really a time where basically, really just, of course, really, Fortnite, it really took off. It started as just like a save the world player versus enemy game campaign. It's basically, it still exists today, but except you have to pay for it, and I think you had to pay for it back then. Anyways, so as I was saying, basically just it's like, of course, it's like, uh, yeah, and of course, people really like this. Of course, really, this was really just the beginnings of the game, and people didn't know how to build that well as they were. Of course, the player base wasn't as sweaty as it is today. And keep in mind, this was just built. And of course, really just, yes, of course, people really, really enjoy this. This. And honestly, except chapter, of course, but see, really, we've noticed like an evolution in Fortnite. Of course, really just in chapter 2, basically, of course, the design gets a nice overhaul, and honestly, that's a W move. Ooh, that's a W move. But of course, again, in Season X, basically, of course, we saw some, like, a big approach. Of course, there were those, like, all those mechs that people hated so much and thought they were very overpowered. Yeah, but this just marked the start of the change, of the transition of what Fortnite is overall. And of course, really just, of course, again, in chapter 2, the entire UI got in a overhaul. And yet, basically, a lot of the stuff changed now, and that's good. Of course, really, just in Chapter 2, Season 3, the entire loop will change, which, yeah, they add the MK7, they add the Stinger SMG, they were both broken, and they were so broken that basically, at this point, at this point, they were broken, and like a basic stone to gold pickaxe, honestly, like, they were broken, like, at this point, the gold Stinger SMG is the gold pickaxe to the stone, dude. It just shreds. But the MK7 is more of that, dude. Honestly, I don't really use the Stinger SMG in real load, but you get the point. And of course, in Chapter 3, they had like Spider-Man's web shooters. Everybody liked that. But then, of course, really, he just, and of course, and then finally in Chapter 4, of course, really just Chapter 4. it was a really nice chapter. And honestly, I wish I came back during that time. I wish I was still playing at that time because like there were augments, there were hollow chests. It was awesome. I've seen the gameplay. I've seen of it. It's awesome, and I wish I was there for it. But yeah. But hey, I at least I can play with it in creative. The weapons in creative, except not the hollow chests. Although honestly, I wish they added hollow chests to creative though. But then, of course, on November 4th, some stuff changed. After the last resort season, which is of course basically Fortnite's really first heist season, I guess, or second heist season, I don't know. But it was the second high season, last resort, where basically those vaults. Honestly, that might have been the best high season I've seen ever on gameplay, though. But like, anyway, so as and of course, this November 4th was the day that Fortnite OG returned, and of course, it wasn't like today. It wasn't really just like the there's like change every month. Of course, like the season of OG changed that OG seasons like change every month. It was all just all the things, really just definitely excluding the max. They were just that was it. Everything with all everything in chapter one on Fortnite OG was condensed into one mini season. But this only lasted a month. And then came chapter 5, which of course was likely the most hated season of all the hated chapter out of all the chapters in Fortnite history. Of course, really just people really didn't like this because all the, of course some of the weapon mods and stuff again really just honestly if I got a stealthy spot or weapon I honestly crashed out because I really could not turn off. I don't remember myself recall all that I would be able to get like to take off thermal view, but it's just distracting. And anyway, that like it distracts like the scope is big. And then of course we all know what happened in chapter 5 season 3, the cars. And I might talk about that in another video. Oh. And of course, really just chapter 5 season 4, chapter not gonna lie, chapter 5 season 4. It was a crazy season. There were like the power of doom, um the War Machine's arsenal, a lot of things changed. And then came Chapter 2 Remix. Afterwards, that again only lasted a month, but it was really, again, it was a nice season. Except, really, it was kind of a little controversial, like, well, considering that basically they swapped the agents at the agency, and they swapped all of them out for rappers as the doll pound, bro. Yeah, a lot of people were not happy about that, but a lot of people were alright with it. And they even had the tactical submachine gun. Listen, if Epic's watching this right now, which I know that they are definitely not, please add back the tactical SMG and reload. I'm begging you. Like, just please. It's my favorite SMG in the entire game. And of course, and then basically, yeah, of course, they came brand new modes with the ones that already came in Chapter 6. They added Fortnite Ballistic. They made a big update to like a Fortnite mode which already existed for about a year, and which Lego Fortnite hasn't gotten a lot of content updates in a month. And also, basically, of course, they added one new mode, Fortnite OG. Now, of course, this wasn't gonna be like. Of course, this was teased like way back by Epic that like after like the Fortnite OG mini season ended. I guess Fortnite was teasing that like basically there was gonna be like a permanent OG mode of some sort, and they were gonna have a permanent Fortnite OG mode of some sort, and that it would be permanent. And of course, this isn't basically. Of course, now it's all just split up into chapters. Chapter one, season one, chapter two, season two, chapter three, season two, blah 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 blah, on and on and on. And of course, people. Oh, of course, and of course, honestly though, really the first and something I forgot to mention about the first time Fortnite OG came back, the player base was high. The player counts were high as hell. Yeah, 14 million players, all time peak. And that's honestly insane. Like, Battle Royale and Reload is rocking like 14K right now, dude. And it has weapons. But of course, really, of course, when people, of course, people were hyped about it at first, but then eventually it, it started to, there was a small problem again. And then somehow it just, the player counts were just going down or two. And of course, there were really just some contributing factors to this. It's like basically see some contributing factors to this were that of course we again reload release saved the entire season of wrecked at hacked of the wrecked it was at the time, and of course, yeah, of course it was annoying. It was annoying as hell. Yeah. And eventually we've already seen these old weapons in reload, of course, and people were just gonna feel that. And of course, people already knew how to 200 pump people. Kids knew how to 200 pump people. Kid knew how to full back someone. Kid knew how to really fast too. Kid knew how to be sweat. Now, now kid do. Now kid can do all that. He couldn't do that back then, but now he can. Of course, that's really a contributing factor. It just doesn't hit anymore, or people just don't really just don't. Some of course, and of course, the ranked OG zero build, it's gone. It was in the first. It was ranked OG zero build was there for chapter one season one and chapter one season two in the Fortnite OG mode. But of course, when I wanted to play that, it was hard as hell to find a match because there were 1,000 people playing that mode, and that is not normal. That is not normal. And of course, that's why really it got removed due to matchmaking health issues. And yeah, that's basically it's gone now. Guess people just don't like ranked and OG and zero build. That's way too many captions. That they finna that they finna made Epic take action. Huh. Rhymes. And of course, really just it didn't hit the same anymore. Of course, we've seen all his already, and somehow, basically, of course, the nostalgia really just it's really the fact that we've seen this a few times now. Really, just of course, reload permanent. It's permanent, because Fortnite was moving toward a metaverse approach now. It's not just a battle royale game anymore. It's a place where people can make their own maps. It's a place basically there's their own Epic got their own modes, and they're attracting hoes with them or something. I don't know. Hoes. Ain't hoes. Ain't, I mean, they ain't hoes, but they know that basically it's good. Because if you know, you know. It's really just more modes, more fun. And just, it's honestly just the way that these things work. Of course, really just, eventually we're going to be getting to Season X, which probably might come somewhere. I don't know. Honestly, I just don't know. Honestly, I don't know how Fortnite OG nostalgia can just revive itself again, because it's really just nostalgia is just that feeling that basically you can get, basically nostalgia is that feeling you get basically whenever you get to experience something again, something precious, and like you get to experience it again after like a long time that it hasn't existed and that you haven't played it or how you haven't experienced it, and but then if you just experience that nostalgia so many times that it just doesn't feel like there's any nostalgia at all. Just gone. And now you're not able to feel that again because you just can't get that feeling anymore. It's just it's not old anymore. It feels like a new brand and new shoes and stuff. And yeah, that's really why Fortnite nostalgia is really fading, and that's really the issue. So people just have seen this so many times. I mean, people were excited about it at first, but now it's not the way uh, that Epic intended it. People just can't experience the nostalgia anymore. And that's really the reason why Fortnite nostalgia is of fading. Like and subscribe and comment down below. Bye.